Okay, those of you that graduated public school, you're going to realize after this show the public school didn't actually work for me. I said all along that we've had 5 installments of this. Well, I look at my notes and I realized, if I count in the correct order, 1 followed by 2 followed by 3, etc., I only have 4 installments of this particular special. Not 5, just 4. You're watching Trailer Trash TV, the history of TV. I'm your host, Scotty J. And what we're going to be doing in this final installment in the history of TV before the new season of Trailer Trash is launched, which, by the way, will be seen on... No, I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to find out for yourself. We're going to launch into something called the Hollywood Palace. Hollywood Palace, it's a lost format in TV. That being the variety show, the vaudeville style show, where you'd have comics, you'd have musical acts, take a look at any example of the Ed Sullivan Show if you want to know what the hell I'm talking about. It's something I don't think that can be pulled off without egos and or salary caps getting in the way now, shall we say. But this one, Hollywood Palace, originally aired, I have to refer to my notes just due to my ongoing memory lapses. And, oh, heck, gee whiz, I don't even have years on this. I will do my research and hopefully get back to you. Otherwise, you know what to do. Go ahead and Google Hollywood Palace and get the background on your own. You're all smart enough to do that. So with that being said, we're going to launch into the Hollywood Palace, and I'll come back with a few little tidbits for you about the Hollywood Palace. So enjoy this. Kick back, grab yourself a cold one, make sure the pizza's not burning, and we'll talk to you after the program.
Of the entertainment world, the Hollywood Palace, with your host, Bing Crosby. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hollywood Palace. We've heard the laments and also the paeans of praise for the soaring 60s, but for us, this sort of caps the end of the decade. For when our final curtain comes down, Hollywood Palace tonight, it's going to close its doors, pull up its drawbridge after 7 full seasons of filling the viewers' hearts with joy. During this decade, the scientists put a man on the moon, Dr. Bernard performed the first heart transplant, and the Hollywood Palace gave the world its billboard girl, Raquel Welch, a significant contribution, too. All the great personalities, performers, representing every facet of the then and the now in show business, were happy to cross this stage. But this was a pinnacle in their careers. I played low stakes. I played the Capitol. When people said, don't stop until you've played the Palace. You haven't played the top. For years I had it preached to me. I had it drummed into my head. Unless you've played the Palace, man, you might as well be dead. A pair of hoofers were headlining at the Majestic, but they canceled the day when their agent called to say you open the so it became the Hall of Fame, sort of the mecca of the trade. When you have played the Palace, it made. So I hope you understand my wondrous thrill. Back at the Palace, and I'm on the bill. The memorable moments in this series are Well, they're really so numerous that if we related them all, we'd be on here for another full 7 seasons, I guess. So tonight we're just going to offer sort of a sampling. I'm here alone in this theater, and I want to sort of reminisce with you. Recall some of the highlights.
I'm a highlight.
Here are a few of the great musical stars you've seen on the Hollywood Palace.
London Bridge.
Here I am, good company, with the First Lady of Song, Ella Fitzgerald.
Falling down, my fair lady, oh. See the bridges breaking up, breaking up, breaking up. See the bridges breaking up, lady, lady, oh. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Fred Astaire's having a bit of trouble here, proving that he can sing as loud as the queen of the high decibels, Ethel Merman.
Anything goes. Authors too, what's new better words? Now only use four-letter words. Writing flows. Anything goes. I'll do mine and things are fine and dandy when we sing together. Got rhythm. We got our songs, not for anything more.
Unforgettable. Here's a great moment. There's only one Neptune song.
That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable.
Here's the incomparable Mrs. Miller and her voice coach, Jimmy Durante.
In the eyes, in the eyes, in the
From the New York Palace to the Hollywood Palace, Ed Wynn's comedy was sheer artistry. Perched on top of his famous bicycle piano, and one of the great voices of today, Edie Gourmet. Every time Sammy Davis was at the Palace, he'd call it up.
Everybody clap hands. Come on. They took a new note, baby. They put it to a heart. There was one into a new note. And don't you know that ain't early? That's the Southland. When I came first to the blues.
true star, and a great lady who has given so much of her time to entertaining the boys in Vietnam, Martha Ray.
What can you do? Oh, girl, yes, you're through. So just there and count your little fingers, unhappy little girl blue.
Here's the soul maker, the vice energetic James Brown. He brought a new sound from south of the border. Herb Alpert, Tijuana Brass.
Ever and ever, sweetly you'll romance her. Trouble is, the answer will be Amy'd rather stay in love with me.
10 twinkling toes of the famous Ray Bolger, dancing with his favorite girl, Amy. The Dancing Sandman, Gene Kelly. The man who invented casual, Perry Como.
You've been there once before. By the shine and the glow of the room, and the clock seems to chime. Come again anytime. You'll be welcome wherever you roam.
The liquid voice of Dean Martin.
Whoa, hey, andare. Whoa. Something for the youngsters. Five singing boys from England who sold a lot of Albions. They're called the Rolling Stones. I was Stone myself.
We're the favorite
And of course, the Rainbow Girl, Judy Garland.
We'd like to tell you who we kissed last night, but we can't declare. The Vanderbilts are waiting at the club. But how are we to get there? That's the rub. That's the rub. We would sail up the avenue, but we haven't got a yacht. We would drive up the avenue, but the horse we had was shot. We would ride on a trolley car, but we haven't got the fare. So we'll walk up the avenue, yes, we'll walk up the avenue, yes, we'll walk up the avenue till we're there.
Now it's time to get up and
go. Grab up the paddle and race it along. You gotta roll, roll down the street. You'll find out this bottom thing. You gotta roll, roll merrily down the street.
You know, in vaudeville parlance, a novelty act is anything from an acrobatic team to a man who dives from a 60-foot tower into a glass of water. Plus, of course, it's the Dean Martin show where the glass of water is the novelty. Hollywood Palace has presented the cream, I think, of these agile artists. And now we'd like to jolt your memories with a parade of thrills. Here I'm too worried to look more than long enough to identify this almost out-of-sight group. 90 feet in the air without nets, the nerveless Knox. One of the greatest of all wire walkers, the world-renowned Linon of Denmark. Here's a family with their head in the clouds, the Wallendas. Leonardo, he proves there are flying saucers. There's Mario, walking happy. Painting pictures without a brush, Prosana. Eva Vito. Oh, this girl would be a great catch. Agora, the only act that can follow is bicarbonate. Dovecco. He used to be taller. Lazeros, the husband and wife we trust settle their differences before they get on stage.
course, we'd be something less than candid if we tried to claim that everything went perfectly on the Hollywood Palace for 7 seasons. I'm afraid the evidence is unavoidable.
This is the celebrated Santos, attempting a somersault on the wire. He made it. And here are some of the best in the business having their ups and their downs. Here's a young man who really believes that no matter what happens, the show must go on. Now here's Granville and Alan Sherman in that moment of truth that anyone who's ever walked on a stage fears the most. I think the French call it déjà vu.
We can do it together.
What's it about?
It's about, I'll tell you what it's about.
Baby time, keep going, don't...
What it's about, what's going on? What it's about.
Do you remember what it's about?
Yes, I
You'll see the famous Victor Borge. That night he had a little trouble with the piano stool.
We're going to play this Viennese Waltz by Friedman Gärtner, and I hope you will enjoy it. I can't stand it. This has nothing to do with it. I told them there was something wrong with this, and this is... I don't know how to do this, but this is not supposed to be, because I don't know what to do. No, this is definitely... Can I have another stool or something? I'm awfully so sorry.
Go right ahead. Rolling again. Go ahead.
Am I rolling again? I hate to roll in this. All right. This is awfully low. I'm sorry. Can you stop rolling? I can't play this. I have to sit like this. I can hit a pocket. NBC has one. Well, this is television. Oh, I know what I can take my shoes off. Maybe I can stand up. See on the piano strings,
We had a big season on Blue Cross. You know, many of the critics have scoffed at television as being something less than cultural, but, well, I disagree. Hollywood's Palace especially has presented performers whose articulate speech has emphasized the true beauty of the English language to such a degree of perfection that, well, they make William Buckley sound like Rocky Graziano. Fortunately for the non-believers, we have documented proof by way of these film excerpts.
You see, I'm lousing up the whole words.
I think it's him. They say he was colorful figure in his plaid skirt. Can we start it again?
Gives us a... Tonight? What? Hey, has any of you fellas flown any... are any of you fellas... Oh, here we go again. One more. Tonight gives us his impressions Tonight he gives us his impression. Oh, sure.
Unfortunately, Artie isn't here tonight. He's over at Otto Preminger having his, oh boy.
Secret, not a little secret.
Dig. Lola Falana. Lola Falana. Cut.
Anyway, you'll see it later in the show. It's a very extraordinary, and I advise you not to miss it.
You know, folks, I first met Peter Lawford in London, where I was, oh, I should say, I'm correcting their English. When I was over there, I was there.
All right, now let's get on with our exciting show and bring out a very lucky star who doesn't require any medication. Well, it's better than the line I got.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now pause for a station break, which gives me all the stations at homage. Oh, my God. This is a season to be... Sure it is. This is a season to be jolly, but some people just don't know that the season is over. We look now at the first man, at the last man.
Can you fix that?
Can you fix it?
Mm-hmm. I can change it all right now with the
Go ahead.
Sure. Oh, sorry about that.
Well, we can dream at least.
Yeah, I can do better than that.
What's he gonna do this time? Latest creation, a capeful grape. It's a capeful grape. It's a graceful cape. It's a graceful cape. It's a cape grape. It's a grape cape. It's a graceful cape. I'm going to break the record today.
All of us, of course, were elated to learn that Jimmy Durante will be taking over this slot next week. You know, we went through thousands of yards of tape, palace tapes, and I think we finally struck pay dirt with a scene in which Jimmy and Peter Lawford just couldn't seem to get started.
I know my own lines. You know yours.
Where? Oh, yeah.
He's still on the sidelines. He's mumbling all through the thing.
George Hamilton was busy, I'm sorry.
Are you finished? Nothing will help me. We're here together, right?
Come out here with no guitars when we're set, okay? I'll give you a cue and then you take about 3 beats.
Come out here.
You're on your own.
No guitars.
What?
Nothing.
All right, stand by. Here we go.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Do you want the footwork in there?
This has been like home to a lot of us. Of course, I don't have to tell you how much stuff can accumulate in a home in 7 years. For instance, one there has 10 sacks of peanuts left over from birth of the elephant. Every wash basin in the place is full of fish left by Sharky the seal. And there are about a dozen Bowser bags full of bones that the dog axe didn't take with him. And ever since the tiger axe appeared, we've had 2 chewed-up trainers that have been uncalled for. And, of course, you remember Valentine, the magician who did Magic Act, where nothing turned out right? Well, he left it behind 3 rabbits. Today there's just 2. Even his rabbits didn't work right, I guess. But these animal acts were the spice of the show sometimes, and we had the best, I think. So why don't we take a nostalgic look at some of these fun-filled moments. One of the loveliest girls to grace our stage, Bertha the elephant. The week the show went to the dogs. Whitemore's kissed you once, will he kiss you twice? John Zerbini and his lion. And here are the unbelievable Berosini chimps to make us wonder if Darwin was right and we all got an uncle in there somewhere. I bet that's the way my is ride. Some of the actors on the palace were so big we had to go outside. The classic act of Bob Williams and his dog Louie.
That's your cue, boy. Come on, baby, here we go. Jump there. He's thinking about it.
A little higher than...
Every successful vaudeville show has to have a change of pace. That's mandatory. And to achieve this result, the Palace proudly presents some fine dramatic moments. One in particular comes to mind because it brought to our stage an all-time star, the timeless beauty and the talent of Joan Crawford.
Walter. Walter? Why did you bring me out here in the dark and the cold and the dark cypresses? I don't want to see the stone. But forget, don't you understand? Besides, this isn't our boy's stone. It's too big. You see, it says Jessica. Jessica, beloved wife of Walter and mother of... Walter, I'm Jessica.
I know you'll allow me a moment of expansive self-gratification because one of the biggest stars of today was born on the Hollywood Palace stage, the very eye-filling Raquel Welch. And here she is, introduced by David Jansen.
Here's our beautiful billboard girl, Raquel Welch. Going to tell you about next week's show. One dressed like that at rehearsal. Hey, listen, I hear you just signed a movie contract, right? Congratulations. 20 Century Fox, huh? Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, good.
We're very proud of you, Raquel, and happy for the way things have gone for you. We'll be right back. A little potpourri we're having here, the passing parade of Hollywood Palace highlights. We'd be missing the whole idea, I think, if we left out the wonderful moments of comedy. Well, what to do? Should we present 20 or 30 of the great comedians who've appeared here, or should we just let you see their material by bringing on Milton Berle? But Milton elected to stay home with his television set and his 3M copying machine. So, Milton, if you're ready, here we go with great moments in comedy on the Hollywood Palace. First, Ed Wynn with one of his famous inventions.
Now, you see, I feel better now. I have my street clothes on. The management asked me to show one of my inventions, but I have a brand new one. Teddy, this is very interesting. Suppose you wake up in the middle of the night, and every clock in the house, you don't know what time it is. Now, my invention, you can find out what time it is. It's very simple, but I'll show it to you.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Don't you know it's 2:30 in the morning?
Now we have an excerpt here from the hilarious hijinks of two great stars, the magnificent Betty Davis and the putty-faced Bert Flower, with Bert portraying the suspicious and jealous husband.
Now I'll trap him now. You answer it. He'll hang up on me. Answer it and repeat after me everything I say, or I'll drop this chair on your head. Now repeat. Come right over. The coast is clear. Bottle of gin.
And bring a nice bottle of gin.
Good.
Now you talk. It's your mother.
A pair of giants who started on the silent screen, and lucky for the Palace devotees, continued their stardom all through the talkies. Glamorous Gloria Swanson, stone-faced Buster Keaton in a Cleopatra pantomime. We also had our share of slapstick, Martha Ray, Myrtle, Marty Allen.
starting a new movie tomorrow for Paramount, and they're going to let me play a lover with wavy hair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what is that?
That's a permanent wave kit. All the barbershops are closed, so I thought you could help me out.
Well, what do I do? Just follow the
There's
instructions?
nothing to it, just follow the instructions on the box. Batman! First time I'm going to play a lover in a park.
You know the directions. Just follow the directions.
Just do what it says. Follow the instructions on the box. The classic Paramount says. Have that.
Counting doors.
Yeah. Somebody must be making a cake.
Well, you'll have no trouble, I'm sure, recognizing a current star and a recent bridegroom.
I certainly want to welcome you to the Hollywood Palace.
Gee, thanks a lot, Mr. Crosby. Gee, it really is so thrilling being here. What an exciting year it's been. And now to appear at the Hollywood Palace, especially with you as the host.
Well, thank you very much, T.T. No, I enjoyed it, I did.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. Gee, Mr. Crosby, I really mean everywhere I'm saying.
Call me Bing, not Mr. Crosby. You make me a senior citizen.
Oh,
Call me Bing.
thank you, call me Bing. Thank you.
I called you T.T. You can go into Bing. But you followed my career for a while?
Yes, Mr. Bing.
The palace has presented lots of new talent. For instance, in the shape of Burns and Schreiber.
Now we're having fun here, though. We're having fun here. We're salesmen, all, every one of us. We're salesmen, you know.
What do you guys sell?
Huh?
What do you sell?
Huh?
What do you sell?
We sell, we're tinsel salesmen.
Tinsel?
Yeah, tinsel, you know. Tinsel, like you put on your Christmas tree, you know.
Like you put on your Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. You told me you're not of the Christian persuasion, huh?
No, I'm not persuaded.
No. You're what we call your Judaic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you uncomfortable, you know you can get another cab.
What, are you kidding me? I don't care what a man is. Besides, I couldn't get another cab this time of night anyway.
And here are those two gay blades from Laugh-In, Dan Rowan and Dick Martin.
I'm almost afraid to ask, but what are you doing with that?
Oh, I'm sorry. You never did meet my daughter, did you? Fern, this is Dan. Dan, this is Fern.
Well, you finally toppled off the deep end, pal. There's no way in the world that plant can be your daughter.
She doesn't know she's adopted.
It was certainly a wild moment when Imogene Coca and Sid Caesar attended a theater opening and were seated next to the drummer, Buddy Rich. Edgar Bergen threw out the first voice on the Hollywood Palace, and Charlie McCarthy caught it. Oh, by the way, the pretty girl in this vignette became a star. She's Edgar's daughter, Candy Bergen.
If it isn't Edgar and Charlie. What are you boys doing tonight? Painting the town?
Well, we'd like to, but Bergen is all out of paint. How about you and me going dancing?
Great idea. We can do the Watusi.
Yeah.
See you later, Charlie.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Oh, she's a wonderful girl. Yes. When I see a pretty girl like that, makes me think that I should get married. Married? Yes. Aren't you buying a saddle after the horses in the glue factory?
Here, David Jansen interviews Tim Conway portraying a new prison warden.
I took office right after Warden Riley was shot.
Oh, that's a sheriff. Sorry, he was shot. Was he shot by a notorious gunman?
Oh, no, he wasn't shot. He was shot.
I don't understand.
Well, he was 74 years old. He was shot. I'm kind of glad
glad he retired anyway. He was kind of getting to be the laughingstock of the honor farm.
How was that?
Well, Warden Riley never believed in carrying a real gun when he was out with the men, so he had a little gun carved out of wood he used to carry. And one day the inmates found out about it and took it away from him and burned it.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the worst part. Right after that, they decided to pull a prison break, and about 16 of them took off, and there was old Warden Riley running after them, yelling bang, bang, and throwing ashes at him.
Would you believe this was our billboard girl until things got a little better? Of course, it's exuberant Phyllis Diller.
I'm nothing but a mass of spare parts. In the morning, I don't get dressed, I get assembled. Just got my armpits dry, now my elbows leak. And my G-string is clear down to D-flat. You realize this is not my own chest. This is a transplant. I think it's somebody's back.
Naturally, you've not really lived until you've been insulted by the grand emir of the invective, the pasha of the put-down, Don Rickles.
Where are you from, sir? Fullerton. Oh. Anyway, Fullerton, California. It's a good town. In the summer, you watch the tar come up on the highway. Is he laughing? Take a look. If he's not laughing, hit the guy with the funny mustache. No, I kid you. Fullerton's a good town. I'll make you feel good, okay? 5 o'clock. Anyway, gang.
You know, I'd really like to do something where I could really...
Oh, you can.
Where I could help you.
Here's a pretty expensive acrobat. Lovely Debbie Reynolds.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just... No!
Who are you? You know, we had grave doubts about the world being ready for 2 Milton Berles, but anyway, here's Uncle Milty.
Come on, folks, laugh it up, laugh it up. Are you here for entertainment or revenge? And now, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I call you ladies and gentlemen, and you know what you are.
Hold it, now hold it. I don't do things like that anymore. Today I'm very distinguished.
Oh, yeah?
I'm another Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, then why don't you get out of the business, too?
I don't.
Say the secret word, and it's Groucho Marx.
Well, that's not true. I performed thousands of successful operations.
Oh, were they always successful?
Well, occasionally I do run into a little difficulty. For example, last week I operated on a woman. It was an abdominal operation.
Well, doctor, what happened?
Well, in the middle of the operation, I ran out of surgical thread, and I was forced to use knitting wool.
Most extraordinary. But I mean, what happened then?
Well, she took a bath, the wool shrunk, and now she walks with her head between her legs.
But you know,
Jack Benny, still going strong at 39.
Because the Hollywood Palace is the home of vaudeville on television, you see. And I have such a warm feeling about vaudeville. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and say I was too young to know about that part of show business. Because my best friend, George Burns, used to be in vaudeville, so naturally I heard about it. Let's have it. Mitch and my kid.
My kid brother, he's a lazy kid. One day's work is all the work he did. Wrote a song entirely wrong. Up in Yonkers, it is going strong.
I love to sing and I love to smoke. My friends who heard me sing say they'd rather hear me smoking.
Don Knotts shook his way to stardom.
Gentlemen, my laboratory has finally done it. We have finally come up with it. The perfect, and I say perfect, tranquilizing pill. And here it is. I think you can see it right here. It's just a small thing. But believe me, the wonderful, soothing, calming, tranquilizing effects we've had with this pill have just been remarkable.
Don Adams. Yeah, that's a secret agent who couldn't keep a secret.
I just got my wife to take up golf. Big mistake. $400 for lessons, $400 for clubs. Now I get her out on the golf course for the first time last week, and we're on the second hole, and there's a twosome, 2 guys behind us. Now my wife gets up to hit, and she says, I can't hit. I said, why not? She said, they're looking at me. I said, they don't care about you. They're playing the wrong game. Get up and hit. She said, I can't hit while they're looking. Now I got to turn around and yell, don't look! Down the two guys. The one guy said, what did he say? The other guy said, he said, don't look. He said, what are they going to do?
Victor Borgia, the Great Dane.
Is this the first time you have loved? She had answered, yes. But it is so wonderful that I hope it will not be the last. It's getting a little messy here.
Gone through this formality so many times that I've come to realize that the optimum procedure is to make it brief. You got to keep it brief because most of us just can't stand people who take forever to say good night.
Good night to all of you.
Good night, everybody.
Au revoir.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Well, everything.
Those were some of our short good nights. But tonight I think I have good reason to delay because this is the last farewell from the Hollywood Palace. So this good night is all too short because I've really enjoyed my many appearances here, and I hope you have. I'm going to miss this stage and the pleasant people that I've worked with here, and I'm sure they're going to miss you. Good night, so long, hasta la vista, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. That's for the reruns in Europe. And bless you all. And so, with deep humility, I stand in front of you. I'm proud to have played the palace. It's every actor's dream come true.
Okay, maybe call it coincidence, maybe not. This particular episode of the Hollywood Palace was, apparently, I will say, the finale of the series. It was a limited summer run. It was a summer replacement series for the Jerry Lewis show at the time, hosted by Bing Crosby most of the time. You know, he was the main host. They had guest hosts coming in here and there. This was, a big predecessor to a lot of music shows that would evolve in the 60s as well. Some, maybe 5-6 years down the line. But this one in particular, it kind of got lost in the shuffle, and I decided I wanted to bring it to the forefront to show you what TV used to be, the glory years, the golden age of TV, if you will. And so with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little limited run with my history of television. Stay tuned stay tuned next month. The rebirth of Trailer Trash TV, history of TV this year. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about the show. I just got 2 numbers for you. It's going to be swapping nights. It's now going to be on Friday nights. And I'll just say at 10 on 20. So until then, this has been your host, Scotty J. And we'll see you on Friday.
for the finest breakfast variety to ever brighten your morning,
Pick a pack of Cheerios, pick a pack of Tricks, pick a pack of Jets, pick a pack of Kicks, and Wheaties too. The choice is up to you with the Betty Crocker Pick-a-Pack package.
10 individual servings, handiest cereal package of all. So next time,
Pick a pack of Cheerios, pick a pack of Tricks, pick a pack of Jets, pick a pack of Kicks, and Wheaties too. The choice is up to you with the Betty Crocker Pick.
Christmas morning, at last. What wild and wonderful dreams are waiting to come true beneath this tree? A certain present here will make this Christmas the one to be remembered always. A Lionel electric train. It will grow in value and importance during the years ahead by giving these children a sense of responsibility while the whole family has loads of fun. This is Lionel's helicopter car. It actually launches a copter that takes off and flies like a real helicopter. And take a look at this IRBM missile launcher. Press a button and off it goes to a target that blows up. And watch, it can easily be put back together again and blown up again and again. Fun's the word for a Lionel electric train because you're in charge. Yep, on the Lionel line, you're the boss.
It's Mattel's official Beanie and Cecil Beanie Copter. Wind it up. Put it on. Pull the cord. It's a Beanie Copter. Watch it fly in the sky. It's a Beanie Copter. Beanie Copter. Beanie Copter. Beanie
wind it up, put it on. It's the only official Beanie Copter. Comes with 2 copter blades.
You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
Wait a minute, Dad. I haven't finished Dick Tracy.
You can't read.
Okay, read to me.
Oh, okay. Now, let's see. Tracy's trapped by the crooks. Gee, he's in a real tough spot.
Boy, I'll draw my Dick Tracy snub-nosed 38, and I'll... See that shooting shell, Dad? Fires green stickum caps, too.
Well, let's get back.
Then I'll pull back the bolt, and I'll blast my way out with Mattel's Dick Tracy Tommy Burst. You can fire a whole burst of cats, or shoot one at a time.
I thought you wanted to read Dick Tracy.
Not now. I think he's on television.
You can get Mattel's fabulous new Dick Tracy Snub-Nose 38 pistol and special belt holster, or the exciting Tommy Burst machine gun for $3 each. They're the only official Dick Tracy guns. And remember, you can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
Just call me Mr. Ed.
Harold, dinner.
You called? Here I am.
You don't think I'm bad, do you?
Stop that and eat your dinner.
The phone is ringing. Shall I answer?
No, just eat your dinner. Good night, Harold.
Oh, horse feathers.
What did you say, Harold?
What's up, Doc? I like you.
I like you too, Harold. Now, good night.
I'm an old meanie, and I love it.
All right, Harold.
Have you ever been kissed by a sea serpent?
They're Mattel's talking puppets. Mr. Ed, TV's talking horse, Bugs Bunny, Dishonest John, and Cecil. Each says 10 funny sayings. You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.